point here. But I want to show you something very important. Many people say, you know, the DSD signal is really very analog-like, and that's very easy to understand. If you start out with a signal, a sine wave, for instance, you shaded black here for high ones, or high amplitude, or white for low amplitude. Now we encode this in DSD, and it'll look something like this. Wherever we have high amplitudes, we get a whole bunch of ones. There's a few zeros in between, but we got mostly ones. Same thing for low amplitudes, we got a whole bunch of zeros with only a few ones in there. So if you remove this magnifying glass and step back a little bit and look at it again, just this DSD signal, you know, there's ones and zeros. So if you take this away and you show me this with some periods, I can tell you this is a sine wave. Just by looking at the digital signal, I can get a feeling of what the analog signal is below it. So DSD is a digital signal with a very analog-like character. You have the both advantages of both sides.
It sounds like there's more zeros in a low. Wait a minute. It sounds like there's more zeros in a lower frequency than in a higher. And can you do that? Don't you have to have an equal number of ones and zeros?
No.
What did I miss?
No. The encoding of DSD is happening in time sequence. So you have a lot of zeros to express a low amplitude.
Okay.
And you have a lot of ones to express a high amplitude. That's how it works.
And there doesn't have to be an equal number of ones and zeros all the time?
Over a long time, yes. It doesn't have to be, but usually it is, because then you have DC offs,
Okay.
no DC offset.
Then you're saying you can reproduce a digital signal that essentially is the same reflection as an analog signal by what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Those were sine waves, very important, and I always like to use square waves to characterize systems and look how they behave, because square waves have this edge and steep slopes, and that's what we see in music signals, you know, cymbals and pianos and short attacks. It's lots of transitions like this or this, and not like sine waves. So with this we can use this as a test signal and see how a system behaves. And here I took a 10 kilohertz square wave and put it into a 1FS PCM encoder, so 44.1 kilohertz. What you get out of it looks more like a sine wave, because you only get one or two harmonics from that frequency. You can raise the sample rate of the PCM encoder to 96 kilohertz, and you get 3 to 4 harmonics out of it. And you know, the signal or the output looks more like a square wave already, but you know, still has very round edges and finite slopes. With DSD, in its large frequency range, you get lots of harmonics, and you can reconstruct a square wave pretty much accurately as the input. And that's, you know, another behavior of DSD. It's very transient friendly in music, where you have lots of transients, lots of short attacks and decays. DSD usually handles that very nicely.